this from Angel Magic. She did my reading that told me to write the damn book. I wrote the book. Here we are a few months later, and she is back on to talk about one of her books that she's writing. And shout out everywhere where they can see you and get a reading if they would like to get a reading.
Yes, of course. And first, I have to say congratulations, Lauren. I'm about halfway through your book now, and I love it. There's so much. It's amazing. I'm really enjoying it and taking a lot from it. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So to get in touch with me, to order my books, to read my blog, to book a reading, you can go to katewhitneyofficial.com or my Facebook page. But if you just go to my website, everything is there. All my socials, and of course, Mindful Magic Podcast is there as well. So you can even listen to our podcast right on my website.
You know what? I think I called you Katie.
It's okay. You know what's funny is that's my legal name. It's not Catherine. It's Katie.
Oh,
okay. So that's funny. That's totally fine.
Sorry about that.
All my family and my oldest friends call me Katie, so we just have that connection. You can call me Katie.
Yeah, I think even in my phone, that's what you are. That's funny. Well, okay, so let's talk about this children's book, because you had said that you had done it 2 years ago and you were redoing it.
Yes, so A is for Angel. I wrote Angel Magic in 2022, I think is when that came out. And then I realized that I was incorporating Angel Magic with my children. I'm like, wow, it would be really neat to transform Angel Magic, my book and my techniques, into a children's book. So anyone who enjoys Angel Magic can incorporate that in their parenting. So I created Angel Magic. So it's A is for Angel. So it's the angelic ABCs.
Oh, I love this.
So it's going to incorporate the major archangels that I work with, as well as, sorry, I had a brain fart. Shielding. So bubbles, I call them. So children can feel safe, protected. They can put these bubbles of light around their pets, their home, their family. And also I teach the importance of kindness, compassion, and authenticity. So it's a lot of fun. And I was working on illustrating a book for a local tutor in Grand Rapids. And she, of course, they're educational books for her tutoring. She inspired me to incorporate the education into my book. So not only can you read this book to your child, but underneath each paragraph on each page, there is a sight word affirmation for your child to read along with you. So it's also teaching affirmations.
Oh, that is amazing.
It was
8 and 17, but I would still get them that just for the simple fact that it's something easy that you can incorporate into their everyday life. And I know, with children, I'm really big on bubbles. I taught Aiden really young how to do the whole bubbles just to help with his energy, because he's very sensitive. And to see it put into kids' terms, for with affirmations and compassion and using the alphabet, girl, that's a home run. That's amazing.
What's really neat about A is for Angels, I love how you said that you would enjoy it, but I really do think that anyone who wants to just what Angel Magic is in 30 pages, it basically sums up Angel Magic in a nutshell, obviously for kids, but it is. Parents enjoy it too. So I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about it. The pictures are really bright, and it just has a lot of good information. And my kids loved it, so they're my biggest supporters, my biggest critics, and my biggest teachers. So I'm so excited about it, and I can't wait to create more. I'm inspired to just keep going.
So tell me more about how you incorporate spiritual practice with your kiddos. How old are your kids?
Okay, I have a 6-year-old daughter, an 8-year-old son, and then I have a 10-year-old son, and then my stepson, he is 18.
Oh,
so
wow.
We have a really big family. So I incorporate Angel Magic kind of as I go. I don't make it up as I go, but I use each moment that I can, whether it be my child is upset, they're scared, they don't want to go to bed. So, for example, my daughter, obviously girls, they're emotional. I taught her how to put her worries into a cloud. So with a child, you can say, let's put your worries in a cloud and hand them to your angels, because when you give your worries and your fears to your angels, they'll help send you comfort and peace and protect you. So with children, you can say, close your eyes and picture a cloud in your hands. You don't have to put your hands out, but you can. And now put your fear or your worry into that cloud. Now throw it up above your head. So that's what we do. And I teach my kids that it's important to ask angels for guidance, to ask them for help, because they can't interfere with their life, but they can help them if they ask. So my children do understand the importance of asking and also the importance of intention. Another big one in my house is the power of our words. I teach my children that everything you say is basically a spell. If you say that, or if you say something that's not kind about someone, that's going to come back to you in some way. And I'm one of those moms where I don't candy coat too much. I let them know, the power of their words, but also it's a double-edged sword. So if you put kindness out there, if you say kind things to yourself and others, goodness is going to come back to you. My favorite is when my daughter, I'll be cleaning and she'll just start helping me and just really want to help me and start, doing anything on the side of me. She likes to follow me around. Once in a while, I'll toss her a quarter, or when we're at the store, I'll buy her a new headband. I'm like, see, the good that you do comes back to you, but you never know when you're going to expect it, because I don't do it every time. So I teach that and enforce that in her life, that do good things all the time without expecting anything in return, but it will come back to you eventually.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm just mindful about keeping those lessons coming back to them. So anytime I'm reminded of a lesson I spoke to them, a few days before, if it comes up again, I remind them. So it's just consistency and just moment by moment, because as parents, that's all we have. There are teachers, and we're also learning. We're learning as we teach them as well. So that's important.
And the sight words, I can't get over the sight words.
Yeah, well, what's funny is not only the Allison Cave, she's the author that I just did her illustrations for. So I learned a lot from her because she's a tutor, but my children are learning to read at the same time, my younger two. So I'm doing sight with my daughter at night, and it's, I'm teaching her, and I'm like, why have I not incorporated sight words? And why don't I just turn them into affirmations? Because we're also working on affirmations now, my children and I. So that's my children mixed with Allie, the lady that I was working with. They both inspired me to include the affirmation sight words sentences.
This is so cool. I even from my teaching background, I would have never even thought to do it all together. When I saw it on, I don't know if it was on TikTok or Instagram, you were sharing it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I had so many of my friends, when I shared it, say, I would get this for my kid. This is awesome. This is amazing, because it's so positive and uplifting, but it's also the little magic. You know what I mean? It's such a feel good.
I took it so the inspiration just came from multiple places though. So obviously it was my angels too, but it was from my daughter mixed with the work that I'm doing. So I'm just getting that inspiration. That's how you know when you're on the right path, because inspiration comes to you at the same time, but in different ways. So the synchronicities, I guess, the synchronistic guidance, it was undeniable. So it had to be added in, and it's inspired me to create more. So I'm really excited with that.
And what about your kids? Do they have any, are they real sensitive? And yes. I don't mean emotionally, you know what I mean by sensitive.
Yes, they are. They're very sensitive. My son, my oldest son, since he was little, he's seen spirits. I actually wrote about this house in Angel Magic that inspired me it actually guided me to the angels, was this terrifying haunted house that I lived in. I had abilities. I didn't realize that I had abilities, but my son would actually see spirits of cows in the field where we lived. And he would see figures in his room at night. This man, and he would describe him in detail. And then my daughter, just the other day, we have a love of fairies, and we talk about them all the time. We're always playing in that way. We made little miniature pancakes for the fairies the other morning, but the other day she's like, Mom, I just remembered that we had a past life together. She said,
Oh.
you were my mom and we were both fairies. And I'm like, tell me what our house looked like. And so they're very in tune, but it's also because I allow them to be open, and I like when they say, I remember this, or if they're feeling something, I ask them to describe it to me, trying to keep their vision, to support them in their using their clairvoyance and their abilities. So it's just how we live our life. It's not anything different for us. But once you start incorporating magic into your day with your kids, numbers are big. My son loves angel numbers,
Mm-hmm.
even colors. You know, my daughter, before when I put something on, she's like, "Did you bless it?" So everything during our day, whether it be getting dressed, we infuse everything with intention. And, you know, whether you consider yourself a witch or you're spiritual, it doesn't really matter, because I do believe that we are powerful beings that create our reality. So if you can teach your children the power of their intention, the power of their words and every action, that is just setting them up for success. And I wish that I had this when I was a kid, that my parents gave me that space, but that's just not how it worked out, because I was meant to figure it out on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't wait to see what they do when they're older.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. You know,
Yeah, but all
Aiden saw at a very young age, and it was something that we have always had great conversation about, because with my family, my grandmother was full-blooded Indian. My grandma's on my mom's side, you know, they were always okay with sharing those kinds of things in our family. And I thought that was huge, because it helped me understand that some of the stuff that I was seeing and doing and feeling since I was little is not crazy. You know what I mean? And so when Aiden was smaller, and he saw for the first time, I tried and vowed to keep an open dialogue with him as he got older, so it wasn't something that he thought was scary either. And now that he's 17, you know, he doesn't really see anymore. He kind of shut that off, but he feels still. Like he can feel the energy in a room and shift and the whole shebang bang. So I think it's very important that you stay open to those things, especially with your children, because I mean, you're not hurting anything by teaching them how to do protection and affirmations. I mean, these are all wonderful things that really anybody should know. Why not start them young? You know,
exactly.
like
Yes.
controlling their energy space and controlling their intent of how they feel. It's just a beautiful way of, I mean, everybody experiences it in their own way, but having an open dialogue instead of just being like, oh, you're not seeing that, or, you know, oh, it's just when kids see when they're little, they call them imaginary friends. Well, I've always believed those imaginary friends are more than just imaginary, you know?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I have too. You know, I do want to mention this though. I don't want, you know, your listeners to think that everything my children say, I just know that everything is true. There are moments where I know that they're more just wanting attention. And there are times where I know that they're making it up. But like there's obviously I don't just believe everything that they say, because they're kids and they're still using their imagination. But there are those moments where you just know as a parent that your children are connecting with the angels. They are seeing deceased relatives. They are seeing elemental beings. My daughter Dahlia, a couple of years ago, and she still remembers to this day, she was only 2 or 3. She was painting at the table and she jumped up and her eyes were huge. She said, Mom, a fairy was just sitting next to me at the table. And she described it in detail, and she's never forgotten it. I didn't bring it up again, and she swears that she saw it and she can still describe it. It was just amazing. So I did want to throw that out there so your listeners know that I am a normal mom as well. You know, like there's a difference between imagination and actually seeing things and experiencing them. So I think that's important as well.
Yes. Aiden had what was blue girl and green girl. I think he was like 2 or 3, and we had just moved out to a house that was right by the river. And then I was like, oh, that's great. That's great. And then we got a glimpse of a blue and green orb type thing in our pictures. And he like talked about it and talked about it and talked about it and talked about these girls that would come and visit him. And then we found out, I went to the library and I did a little bit of research because, I mean, he kept on talking about these girls and like, there's things in this, there's pictures, like,
Yeah.
and went to the library and found out that they were wearing a blue and green dress. So to a 2 or 3 year old, blue girl and green girl, because that's what they're wearing. And I got a picture of the little girls that were killed in the river behind our house. And I took it to him, not the picture of them dead, of course, but like a picture of them. And I was like, do these girls look familiar? And he literally said, hey, blue girl, green girl. And I will never forget it. I was like, oh my goodness, that was actually a thing. And my husband, who, he was not open. He probably half the time thinks I'm crazy. I mean, now we've been together for 27 years, but you know what I mean? Was sitting in the office the week before, and our son was at my brother's house, and it was 3:00 in the morning. He was working, and he swears he felt like a little hand like wet on him. He came running into the bedroom just white as a ghost, like, oh my gosh, I need you to get to stage.
That gave me chills, like my crown and everything. That's amazing though.
Yeah. But I think that was about the time that we were like, okay, yeah, he is not, these are not just imaginary friends.
Yeah, that's amazing though. And, they were obviously like those playful energies as well, if he's seeing them outside.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got full forms in pictures. Like, it's insane. I'll have to send them to you just so you can see, because it was a really crazy experience. That house was extremely haunted. I wouldn't say the house was. I think it's more of the land. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like whatever happened on the land before. But there was a German settlement family that had come down through the river, and basically they got attacked by Indians. Like it was a crazy story, but sometimes, like I was saying, you should really listen to some of the things that your kids say, because as adults, I think we push it off, but like really listen, and there is a connection there, especially when they're really young.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
for sure. I had cramps the other day. This is last week. And I was laying there like, just mom needs a minute, and I just need a minute to lay down. And my daughter said, I want to send you healing. And she's never done this before. And I said, okay, well, go ahead. Do what you feel you should do. And she closed her eyes and put her hands over my belly. And I'm like, what do you see, Dahlia? Explain to me what you see. And she told me, she said, my angels aren't letting me see what it looks like, but she said they're showing me a vine. She said it was like, she described it like a vine with thorns all over it. And I said, you don't have to, if you don't want to heal me, you don't have to do that. But first, of course, I need to mention that when she said she wanted to send me healing, I asked her, I said, remember, you always ask Archangel Michael to be with you and surround you in white light. So we did that first. So I said, okay, now what do you think you need to do? And she started just pulling, like those videos you see, those energy healing.
Oh, wow.
Going in all these different directions. And she just went on, and it was amazing, and it really did help. But I do have to say, I took ibuprofen, which is why I was lying down, which I never do, but they were bad. But I told her, like, thank you so much. But just intuitively, I wanted to see what she would do naturally on her own. And then it's interesting when your kids are in those moments where you ask them to tell you what they see. Mm-hmm. What do you see, or what does that make you feel? They'll surprise you a lot.
Like, they will.
When I asked her, like the thorns, I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I feel that.
Wow, that's amazing. And how old is she?
She's 6.
Okay, so right before COVID, baby.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So I've heard that these babies from 2018 to about 2024 are just completely connected.
I 100% agree with you. 100%. And, my boys are sensitive as well, but she's more healing, and she's like pure love. And she actually gave me a gift. It's almost hard to explain, but with all the abuse I endured and the trauma, which I've been healing from my whole life, she gave me this gift when she was born. She was born, and then 10 days later, my little brother passed away. So right away, she was this beacon of light
Oh,
to my
wow.
family. Everyone just passed her around, and she was just this light. Well, every time I don't remember how this even happened the first time, but whenever I'm struggling with a situation or with a person, I envision them through her eyes. And I don't know why that happened or how it happened, but it's been a thing I've done since she was born because she views the world in such a beautiful way that
Mm-hmm.
that's how I as well as I tune into the person and I see what they see. I envision that it's like I'm in their body, and I do that with her, and it really helps me see things from a loving perspective. So she really is different. She really is gifted. And I believe she gave me that gift to help open my heart and to
Yeah,
help me heal.
absolutely. She's your little angel baby.
She is. I always tell her.
Oh, that's
She
beautiful.
always says, I'm a fairy, Mom. So I always tell
Hey,
her she's an angel.
speaking of fairies, go ahead and drop your fairy book because I've been asked about this a few times. Can you drop the name of it and where people can get it?
Oh, yes. It's the Backyard Fairy series. So it's a 10-story series. So it's the Backyard Fairies, and that was inspired by my children. There's a lot of education, as well as spirituality infused with education, ecosystems, plants, um, teaching the importance of loving Mother Nature, loving others. Each book is a different life lesson. One is for kids, it's on grief. So actually the book 10 is a book about children having grief, which was inspired by my brother who passed away.
Mm.
So right, everything you can think of, basically like the main lessons infused with nature and nature in your backyard specifically, like my backyard in Grand Rapids. So it's Michigan ecosystem education, but, a lot of normal plants, but they're so much fun. I actually plan on starting another one here soon.
They're they're really cute. I haven't seen the whole series. I got one. Got the first book, I think. Okay, in your mindful magic, she has a podcast as well named Mindful Magic. And one of the things that you had said in there that I loved, I want to get to you like the top 5 things of mindful magic. But one of the ones, because we were talking about the backyard, that you said the other day that I probably shared because I share all of your stuff, was walking and asking nature what it is that you need and then watching what grows.
Yes, yes,
Tell us a little bit more
yes.
about this.
I, yes. So this is such a simple technique. It's a great way to not only connect with your yard, because for me, I have to, my yard is an extension of my soul. Like I feel like I need
Yes.
a connection with my yard to truly feel connected to my home, like to
Okay.
truly make it a home, no matter how small your yard is. I mean, keep in mind, I wrote Angel Magic, my Backyard Fairy series, right in the city. So I had a tiny yard, but I just woke it up. But the way I did this is when I was writing the Backyard Fairy series, I received a message from the fairies that you can actually connect with your yard and we will send you healing in the way that you need to pay attention to the weeds that pop up. Um, Everyone calls them weeds, and I didn't actually use these weeds. So what I do, I'll go back to the beginning. I'm getting ahead of myself. So you can go outside and barefoot is best. And you just take a minute and you envision roots coming out from the bottom of your feet. And then I open my heart. I envision my heart opening. And you don't have to say this out loud. You can say it in your mind. I want to connect with you. I want to infuse magic and love and healing into this space. And any spirits of love and light that would like to enter and make this your home, you're welcome. So I open that door in a
Mm-hmm.
positive way. Um, and from there, I say, please send me healing. Please send me magic. Help me see magic everywhere. And from there, it only takes, a week or so, maybe less, and you'll start noticing new weeds popping up. And when the first time this happened, I was so excited because I received the message first, and then I went and did what I was guided to do, like I just explained, and then I had to wait. and me being me, I got really excited and had to blab to my neighbors about what I heard. And keep in mind, they're not my neighbor to my left. She was like this. She's this Polish woman. She's just really sweet, but she was raised Catholic, very, But anyway, she's like, okay, Kate, but she loves me, so she listens with, she listens with love. I told her, and I told my neighbors to my right, and I wrote, and they're actually in the Backyard Fairy series, my neighbors, and they're like, yeah, whatever, that's awesome, and they started noticing it too, because they must have done it, even though they're like, okay, and my brought over, he's like, look what I found. And he's like, I needed this. So like he was showing me, I cannot remember what it was. I want to say it was like nettle or something like that. And he's like, I needed this. He's like, or it was there the whole time and he didn't realize it because he is a Buddhist. He spends most of his time outside. So I think that what it was is when I told him, he was open to it and he started paying attention more to what he saw. So then it got to the point where my neighbors would ask permission before mowing the lawn or, they wouldn't mow over the mushrooms. So when I left, like I definitely had an impact, but connecting with your yard it's so much fun too. Like it makes you feel like a kid again in a good way. And it really helps you get in tune with your body as well. Because when you study these different herbs and these plants, you realize that Mother Earth, and this is another message I received that I have to share before I forget and while I have the opportunity. Mother Earth, when I was doing the Backyard Fairy series, I received so much guidance and so much wisdom from connecting with Mother Earth. She told me that I have a healing remedy for everything, for every ailment. However, all these chemicals and everything that is synthetic, it's harder to find a cure. Not that we can't heal ourselves. I 100% believe we can, but it's more difficult. Yeah. So she says, whatever's wrong with you, I have something for that. However, when you eat clean, when you are more mindful of what you eat, it's easier to heal yourself, which obviously makes sense. But I just love that perspective.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. It feels good to talk about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that connection with Mother Nature is beautiful, but it is wild how the connection works, and when you actually tune into it, how much connection there actually is.
Yes, it's everywhere. It's trees, it's bushes, it's flowers, it really wakes you up, and you can't unsee it. I don't want to ever, but I mean, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Have you seen online when they put microphones on like the trees and the leaves and flowers, how it sings together?
I love it. Yes, that's on my wish list.
Oh, yes. I kind of want to set up my stuff just to see if I can get it, but I feel like it's such a high frequency that you have to have special things for it. But I don't know. Maybe we should try it. That would be fun.
Yeah, when I looked it up, I'm like, okay, that's going to be, like, I felt like I wanted more equipment. Like, I like what you're saying. I feel like it wasn't just one device. Like, you needed more than one, which is why I haven't looked into that in a while. But definitely, I've heard that. It's amazing.
Well, give us some more mindful magic tips.
Yeah, so I wrote down a few, although I could go on all day. But one that's really important that I want to share is water. This has been really big. I just have such a fascination with water and the magic of water. So blessing your water, the water that you cook with, the water that you bathe in, and I feel like maybe I talked about this last time, but I'm being guided to bring it up. So I use every moment that I have to set an intention or to infuse magic to my day. I take it, including water. When I make my ice cubes, I do ice trays and I just put them in the freezer. I always speak into them. Love, healing, abundance. What inspired my connection to water though was the Hidden Messages in Water by Masaru Emoto, which is, it's all over, and maybe it's just my algorithm, but I see so many videos about his work and how much he inspired others to research water and how it basically does what you tell it to. Like if you want it to infuse love, it infuses love. And even like this is how sensitive water is. Like, even if you're holding a bottle of water and you're getting into an argument with someone and then you drink it, you're programming all that negativity, all of that, those hurtful words into your water. So you even need to be mindful of when you're holding onto water, what you're saying, because it's so powerful. And then also using water to, I mean, this is just common knowledge, I know, but setting the intention that you're going to completely detox your body by putting only clean water, spring water, or my friend does the water machines, which I'm going to be getting those. But just setting the intention to completely detox and change the water in your body to healthy, to words of love, to infusing creativity. So water is easy. It's something that you can do every day. It only takes a moment. Blessing food. I have this simple prayer we say before we bless our food. Please help us absorb. When we look at our food, my family sits down. We take turns saying this, every night. Someone rotates it. We envision white light around our food together, and then we say, please help our body absorb everything that it needs and protect us from what it doesn't. And that's all we do. And we envision our food surrounded by white light. And that is one of the biggest mindful magic tips I could share, is just blessing what you put into your body or what you wash with. It's huge. And it's simple. It takes a second.
Yes, to add to the water, because you said what you wash with, one of the best cleansing techniques that I do is at nighttime I like to take a Epsom salt water bath to cleanse off the energy. And then in the morning time, I take showers. So I like to think of gold water going over me to kind of seal, like get rid of anything that I might have released through the evening, through the night, and then seal it up before I go out for my day.
I love that.
And then I always stir clockwise every time I get a drink, whatever energy it could be. I'm huge on water itself, but like, just the energy of it. So thank you for sharing that, because that is the easiest thing you can do. And so many people don't do it. They don't even think about it.
And then once you do it, it becomes a habit, and you get more creative with it. You can program, I have a specific cup that I use for setting intentions for my goals or creativity. I have a specific cup that I drink out of. So just getting creative, and, if you have to go to a job interview, speaking to your water, I'm going to nail this job interview. I'm going to get this job, and then drink it, knowing that you just created something that is going to happen. An inner knowing and believing in what you're doing is really big as well. The emotions behind it.
Yeah. It's all about intention.
For sure. Yeah.
I think that's the number one thing that people miss, is that really magic is just intention. It's just, I mean, you can do it with the easiest things, the simplest things. It doesn't have to be so time consuming or expensive,
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know when I started my witchcraft journey, I'm like, okay, I need to get all these tools. Oh, I need to have this specific herb. And then I got my setup. I'm like, this doesn't feel right. This isn't right. Why am I stressed about it? It's supposed to be fun. So that is where my journey started, with the setting of intentions, manifestation. That's where I started. And then I realized that you don't even need a label, that, we're just all spiritual beings. And I actually prefer not to have labels, because it puts you in a box. I don't like boxes.
Agreed. 100%.
You don't need tools. All the power is within us.
Mm-hmm.
Colors.
What about sound? Do you do a lot with sound? I know I loved what you shared with me earlier, that frequency with the water, with the color frequency and sound. Was that sound as well, those?
I don't think so. I just stumbled across that right before we got on, but I thought it was
super
amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. So basically, it looks to me that it's the water. Maybe it was sound. The colors going in a specific pattern with intentions to help change. I'm not really sure. Basically, infusing intention through these screens. I'm not really sure, but I want to look more into it.
I do too, because that was really cool. Like, I'm really big on frequency. I think we've talked about this before, but we'll hit on it again because it's been a few months. Frequency in my house.
Yeah.
I'm always playing frequency music, like throughout my house. It keeps my vibe up, and I love my singing bowls and all the things. But frequency in music is a huge thing.
Yes, I
Do you
agree.
want to tap on that one a little bit? What are your thoughts on it?
So I was going to say colors. It's so funny because when you said sound, I said color because I was going to say that I'm more with colors. I receive messages through colors from my angels and figuring out what those colors mean for me. So I've been getting to the point where I want to start working with sound. And I'm mindful of what I listen to, and this is actually new to me. So I haven't really gotten into it, but I've been drawn to that glass harp, the woman that sings with the whales. I like that. I need a harp. I need that harp right now. So I'm just starting the sound journey, and that's where I want to start is with the harp. So once I tell you what I pick up from that, I cannot wait to share because that's where I'm at now. It started with color. So
see, and I'm wanting, okay, so this is where we're going to help each other because I'm wanting to learn more about colors. I'm starting to see more and more with auras, and I want to learn about it. Like, there's not a lot of things that I've found that are, besides really basic, on going in an aura. And I know that auras are a huge thing. I just haven't really been able to see them as clear as I can see them right now.
Yeah. I notice when I read auras, I can see the line around, I can physically see the line around others, the outline, but the color, I always see it clairvoyantly in my mind's eye. Like
Really?
maybe that's how you're supposed to see it. I don't really know, but when I'm tuning in, and when I was practicing with aura reading, it would always change for whoever I was reading. It was changing all the time. So I never really dove deep into reading auras, but when I do, it's always in my mind's eye, but I can see a white outline around everyone. But the color is so fascinating. There's an Edgar Casey, a book about goes really in depth on colors and crystals and their meanings and even how certain colors don't blend, like how you should work with certain colors. It's so fascinating, but it all stems from Edgar Casey's teachings and his readings. And this man took all this information and studied him for years and wrote a book about it. I'll send you a picture. I wish I had it on me. It's in my library, but I'll take a picture of it.
Yeah,
but
send
colors,
it over to me.
There's so much to it. But one thing I will say is that book is so in depth. It's almost intimidating. So I always say that you just take what you need, and I only open it when I need something specific out of it. Otherwise, I get overwhelmed. That's just how I work, though. But colors, I see colors. My angels send me colors, and when I'm in the shower, that's where I receive a lot of colors, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's the water.
It might be the water. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I started working with colors. So if I see a color in the morning, then that's the color that I want to work with. That's a color that, whether I wear it or I, pick a crystal that matches that color, I'll set it next to me while I'm working. Just basically, and my children and I, coming back to the children, one of our favorite things to do is, what's your favorite color today? It changes. And some days they don't change. Dahlia, she's purple, but sometimes my favorite color is red today. So I'm teaching my kids that it's okay to change your favorite color because you're drawn to it for a reason. So my kids also are very mindful of what colors they're drawn to, and they use colors too for setting intentions or certain goals.
It's just so fascinating to me. Colors, sound, frequency, just all the things and how they work together to make this beautiful, magical world. I feel like it's so untapped. You know what I mean? Like, you hear about it, but not too much. But then when you look at the science part of it, it is right there in bold, black and white, that it works, that it's proven to work. One of the things that we were doing that Kate had told me to get is this book on the Sphinx. Let me hang on. Let me get it. It's The Secret of the Sphinx. And I just finished it. So
Wasn't that book amazing?
it was. And do you know now that, they are actually like finding these things that they're talking about in this book, like underneath it? The chambers?
I did not know they were actually finding it. No, I thought that was.
They've
Oh
actually
yes, I did know
found
that.
like the chambers and the pyramids that are all connecting to the Sphinx itself. And like, how did anybody, I mean, it makes so much sense, right? Because there's no way that we could have built that ourselves.
Oh, I totally agree. There's no way we built that.
No, but like, how many people? Okay, so I'm talking to you like I'm just talking to you. Let me talk to my listeners real quick. So this book is it's a hypnotist bleh, a hypnotist journey, and it's a QHHT, right? Isn't that it's QHHT? Is
Yes.
that what she's doing? On different clients that this lady has, but yet they're all they all actually go back to the Sphinx itself, like the magic and the codes that are held within. And it talks about these crystals, and it was just so interesting that I've read this. You told me to read this while she was doing my reading. It came up and I was told to read it. So of course I got it and I read it. And then not long after that, they've started doing the digging, and now they're like talking about the Sphinx and the energy that's coming from it and where it's coming from. What are your thoughts on it?
I feel, and it's so funny that you mentioned this because I watched an interview. Sarah Bressman Kazame wrote that. She's the QHHT hypnotherapist. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
So she was just on Gaia recently and talking about so what's really interesting about her books is not only does she have all these different clients, but these clients come to her from all walks of life around the same time. So it's like when it's time for her to bring out knowledge about one topic, it all happens close to the same time. So what was really neat about this is when she started getting messages about the Sphinx, then she kept getting more clients coming to her that under hypnosis, they would talk about their experience there. But my thoughts on the Sphinx is that I do believe that it holds so much information. I'm getting energy vibes from it. Like it has, what I intuitively feel is that this has something to do with energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm feeling. But what's interesting about her interview the other day, this wasn't the other day, I watched this the other day. It was recent though. Toth has been coming through to her often. I believe this was, this is just all recent. I want to say within the last year. So she's getting all these different clients coming to her, and it's Toth channeling through them while they're under deep hypnosis, talking about how the major pyramid that really has what we need is in North America, and how that has a spaceship under it. It has tablets. It has like everything basically that humanity needs to like be in a whole nother world. But they were saying that we're not going to discover that until humanity's ready. So like she can't even find out where it is. Whereas when she does her other books, it's very detailed. So I'm feeling that there's a lot with this discovery now. I do feel like it has something to do with energy, and it's just we're going to be able to move forward much faster. But the big awakening, all the big information, I believe is going to come from that other pyramid that we discover. That's just my opinion.
I'm going to have a deep dive into this.
Yeah, I feel like it's just setting us up to prepare us for what's coming. I feel like a lot of information is going to be coming to us. And one thing, discernment is huge right now because there's so much shared all the time, like TikTok, on social media. Sometimes I'm like, what if what we're seeing in some of these crazy videos are real? We're not going to know the difference. A lot of us won't.
No.
So like, I think so much is being revealed to us now, and we have to kind of sift through it and figure out what you want to take from it, or if you want to take anything at all from it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. And
Yeah.
I think this is a perfect way to end this conversation too, with you going into a collective reading with these times, what you're seeing with the collective, because it goes hand in hand with what you were just talking about. And what you think is the best way for people to still live in that joy, but have the discernment towards staying away from the chaos.
Right. That's my life right now. So this will be
Mine too, girl. Mine too.
So it has been it has been rough the past couple of months. I was saying my husband and I achieved our biggest goal we've ever set. We bought our first home, and it's better than we ever could have imagined. And we're so happy. We're so proud of ourselves. But since we've been here, it's like we have felt like we're just in a suck. Like we're tired, and it's all like energetic. It's the collective, and it's like right when we hit our goal, it's like now I'm like fighting every day with exactly what you're saying. Like we're going through the biggest shift. I have never felt something so intense before. And I'm even sweating as I say this. Like I'm talking like purging, and it's just been crazy. So I am going through this. So as I'm doing collective readings, I'm going through this as well. I'm not saying like I'm above and I'm out here while I'm watching what you're going through. Like we're all going through this together. What's important for us now is to focus on ourselves, which is really difficult especially when everyone's going through this transformation. Now, people that are more open spiritually and they follow a spiritual path, it's a little bit more comfortable for us. Not saying that it is, but someone that has no idea what's going on, I'm witnessing loved ones going through complete chaos at this time because their world, like, we're basically being pushed into alignment. And this is where I'm starting to get into the collective reading. When I tuned in last night, Lauren, getting ready for this reading for your listeners, I heard you asked for it. Now, this is a good thing. So basically, I had to say that. Basically, Spirit, my angels are saying you asked for this. So we set these intentions. We set these goals. We asked for healing. We incarnated to not only heal and purge and learn lessons, but we're also purging ancestral trauma. And generational cycles. So we are we are so strong. Like I just have to say that. We incarnated knowing that we were able to do this. So that can give you some reassurance. Like you are strong enough to do this. In fact, we are so strong we don't even understand how strong we are. It takes this process for us to really reclaim that strength and that power. And as we go through it, we're constantly having to just push forward. So forced into alignment. So what this means is everything that no longer serves you, anything that you're clinging to is draining you in all ways. This is relationships. This is a career that you're not happy with. This is an unhealthy habit. Whatever it is that you're being asked for to make more money, to be successful, to be healthy, to be happy, to have the love of your life, you're holding on to something. There's no room for what it is that you want to come. So with this, I feel that we're all upgrading energetically. We're being forced to let go of what we're clinging to, and very uncomfortable. So how we get through this is the first thing that Spirit told me and my angels is that our health is number one. We have to focus on our health, what our body needs. Our body is speaking to us very clearly now. This is what I need. This is what I don't need. So if you don't feel like your body's communicating with you, sit down for a few minutes and ask your body what it needs. And then you're going to start receiving intuitive nudges, whether it be you're drawn to a new exercise routine or you're more thirsty. For me, it was not eating red meat. This is for me personally. It's been 3 weeks. I feel a lot better. And I actually started losing weight, which is a plus, but our health is number one because our angels are saying that when you can be healthy within, obviously with everything else on your outer world will manifest as well and match that. So our health focusing on your health every day. Now, this does include your mental health as well. So setting boundaries. We are also being forced to set boundaries with people that we haven't in the past. No more enabling other people by allowing them to vent to you and you say, oh, it's okay. No, it's about speaking your truth, speaking your mind, saying what other people need to hear, saying with love, of course, but I'm getting a lot of having to set boundaries. Like, no, I'm going to say no to you. I know I've said yes to you in the past. So a lot of healing in relationships as well. A lot being brought to the surface in families as well. Not just with relationships. So yeah, being forced into alignment because it's what we asked for. So that's really big too is, we have free will. We're not being forced to do anything. But if you ask and you set that intention, our abilities are on point. We are manifesting so quickly right now.
So quickly.
Yeah. So if you want something and you have the power to do that, which you do, but you're holding on to something in the way, that's going to be really uncomfortable for you to hold on to.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. That is another reason why we're so uncomfortable. Also letting go to receive. You have to let go of something to create that space. Remember, you have to create space. And this also, it comes in the form of forgiveness and letting go of pain and trauma. You could have already learned all these lessons, but you're still holding on to this negative energy of guilt. It's really important to let go of guilt, to forgive other people because everyone's just your teacher anyway. Our triggers are also really a big thing is everything that's triggering you is what needs healing, which is obviously we hear that all the time, but it's like every situation that upsets you is for a reason. Every person that ever upset you is for a reason. It's not about them. It's about you.
Yeah. So always a mirror. Always a mirror.
So that's been a really big one as well. So, and then I also wrote, so what can we do with all this happening? Ask for strength, ask for courage, ask for confidence. Love is huge. Love, ask to help. Even if you don't know how, help me love myself. Help me love myself so that I can give love and so that I can receive everything that matches that vibration. So clarity as well. Clarity is huge. Asking for clarity and then asking your angels to help see everything and everyone from a higher perspective. That's probably the most important one.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Because when you do, you see everything for what it is and you're able to act decisively and understand what needs to go and what needs to stay and what needs to be healed. I did share that video the other day. It's like 2 minutes long. It's a really quick guided meditation to help you see things from a higher perspective, to feel held when you're trying to hold things together or hold everyone else together. You need to feel held too. And we were just talking about this morning. And then to help you see your new perspective. And then it also is a crystalline shield that's placed on you. So I just shared that.
So good. It's so good. To my listeners, I will share it on all of my social media right after I share the podcast. So you can listen to the podcast and then go to the social media and click on it because it is really, really good. So Kate, make sure that you send that.
I'm almost done. I know this is long, but it's a heavy time. So what I heard was a renewed sense of direction and purpose is here or it's coming very soon. So this is not going to be all the time. This is not an everyday thing. This is temporary, but however, this action that needs to be taken for yourself. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do for yourself today? Are you focusing on your goals? Do you even know what your goals are? Reflect on those. Make sure you're moving in the right direction because you're moving really, really fast. But what direction is it that you're moving towards? And then also the last thing I want to say is what you believe you can create and no one can harm. It's not so much about, so one thing I always say is I really don't like it when people say I'm cursed or this is a curse. Like you're creating that and accepting it when you say that. So please don't say that.
Thank you for saying that. So true.
It's actually, it's not the outside world that can hurt us. It's our own fear and our own negative thoughts. So it's really, angels really want us to get our thoughts straight, to get our minds right. And the way we do that is by going within and focusing on ourselves and loving ourselves. Because if you can't pour from an empty cup and you can't give love, it's a lot easier to be a good parent when you're happy. when you love yourself and you take care of yourself. So it starts with yourself.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
That was a beautiful read. I love that you came
so
on for the
sweaty when I get
collective.
these readings. Like, I feel like one of those preachers, like, they get all sweaty. This energy's high. I'm so glad you can't see me right now.
Well, it's so nice because I think that no matter what side you believe or what you think, what we're seeing is a deconstruct to reconstruct. And what we're also seeing is inwardly, pulling inward more instead of always giving yourself to others, remembering to fill your cup before. So
Yeah.
I think that we're so trained not to do that. You know what I mean? Like we're so trained to always be giving to others. So
Especially as mothers. You know?
yes. And so I think that it's important that people understand that no matter what you're going through, you're supported and, give to yourself. Remember to give back to yourself. Do a little self-love. Self-love is always the number one thing. And it's the number one thing to make everything better and the number one thing that we never do.
And I'm hearing now, Lauren, that Spirit is saying you incarnated because you knew you could do it. There is a happy ending here. You just have to keep moving forward. It's like, it's already done. Like everything's already done. You've already done it. You just have to know and you have to keep moving. You have to know that and own it and moving forward. They're already saying like, we already see the ending and it's happy. Keep going. You're fine. You got this.
We got it.
You got this.
All right. Shout out the books again. A is for Angel and the Backyard Fairy series, correct?
Yes. And Angel Magic.
Angel Magic, which is my favorite. I love the prayers. I do those prayers every day. Just FYI.
Yes, we have two. I say we because I co-wrote Angel Magic Prayers and Meditations with Marie Hathaway. She is my best friend and she's co-host of Mindfulness. So we wrote the guided meditations and prayers together, and then I wrote Angel Magic.
So good. So good to have you on. Everybody go follow Kay. Go listen to her podcast, Mindful Magic. They can listen to that anywhere. You're on all streaming, aren't you? Platforms everywhere.
Yes.
And thank you so much for being on Get Enlightened with me, Lauren Scott. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me, Lauren. It's always fun.
It is so much fun. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks, hon. Good talking to you.
You too.